everyone, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a special collab video with Christy Gets Crafty here on YouTube. She's one of my dearest friends and I'm absolutely thrilled that we get to do this together. So we have decided to do this collab, and she picked out the stamp set called Gleeful Gardens, and I picked out the color combination and I found it off on Pinterest. And it's this one here. It's really beautiful, and I thought it was fitting because it had a hummingbird in there. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by using this piece of watercolor paper here. I'm going to be using the smooth side instead of the textured side. And I'm using the largest of the small stitched square stackables here that you see from Fawn. And I'm going to go ahead and die cut that out. And I'm going to die cut my piece first because I figured it was easier because I'm doing a lot of watercoloring on this project. So I'm going to get that part out of the way. And I really do love die cutting this watercolor paper because it really does give a really deep stitched edge. And you'll see that here. It's really pretty. So I've laid out all of the stamped images that I'm going to be using, and I'm prepping it here for embossing. I'm embossing all of the images onto my cardstock here, and I'm going to stamp them out individually. I was going to do them all at once to kind of save some time, but they weren't going to line up as close together as I'd like. So that's why I'm doing this individually. So I am stamping all of my images out in the Versamark ink here. It's a really sticky ink, and I'm stamping those down first. So I'm starting off with the little hillside here and lining that up and just stamping that down. And then I'm going to be coating all of my images in the Versamark Hero Arts embossing powder. It's my favorite white embossing powder. And like I said, I'm doing this each images individually because I can line them up a little bit better. So I'm next stamping out my little flower here. This is one of my favorite images from that stamp set. I think it's just adorable. So I'm lining that up and going to stamp that down, and then I'm going to coat that in embossing powder as well. So all of the images, I've done this, and you'll see here that I've finished all my stamping, and now I've put all of my embossing powder on there. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set that with my heat gun, and so you can see how that's embossed there. So now we're going to go ahead and start off with our watercolor portion of the card. And so I'm going to be using some distress inks here. I've got Evergreen Bough, worn lipstick, then I've got old paper, gathered twigs, and then the last one is Shabby shutters. So I thought they matched pretty well with the color combination. So I've got my watercolor brushes here and my little pot of water, and I'm going to coat my, I did put a coat of water first onto the paper, and now I'm going to start off with Evergreen Bough, and this will represent my sky. So I'm putting more and more water. I don't want it too heavy as far as color goes. So I am watering this down just a little bit more each time, and then if I want more color, then I won't put as much water. So I'm just going around, and you can see since the images are embossed, they resist that ink, which is cool. So I'm going around and carefully taking the distress ink and going around the edge of the images. Now I'm not going to get right up next to them really closely. I'm going to do that at the end of the video, but I'm getting them as close as I can at the moment so I can see all of the images. So I've done that here so you can see what that looks like so far. So now I'm going to work on the little hillside portion, and I'm going to be using the Shabby Shutters color. So I'm prepping my little here with the water, and I'm going to take my ink pad here and smoosh some color down onto my acrylic block. That I'm using that as my palette. So I'm going to add some water and then go in with the Shabby Shutters. And like I said, when you watercolor, if you want more intense color, you don't put as much water, and then if you want it if you want to, you know, more or less, lack of a better word, water it down, you put more water. So you can see there how that turned out with the heel. And now I'm going to go in and work on the flowers. And I've kind of zoomed you in so you could see a little bit better. I'm going in with the Shabby Shutters. And what's great about the embossed images, especially when you watercolor, that it kind of creates a little border or well, I guess you could say, for the watercoloring. So it kind of contains the watercolor and the water a little bit more, as opposed to if you were just going to just stamp the images down directly onto the paper without embossing. The paper, I mean, you could do it either way, but for me, it's a little bit easier and a little bit more mistake proof, I guess. So you can see there I kind of worked on the mushroom there. I was out of frame a lot of it, so that's why I edited that part out. So, but you could see how that turned out. And now I'm going to work on the flower here. So I'm going to start off with the top of it, and I'm using a combination of the old paper and gathered twigs inks together. And I will lighten this up just a little bit more, even what you see here. But I've put down my wash of color, and then I will add more water here in the, a little bit later to that. I'm going to let it dry just a little bit more. But I've gone in with old paper, and just right on the inner edges of the flower, I've added that just kind of as a shadow to the flower. So now I'm going to add the worn lipstick to the rest of the edges of the flower. I know usually a sunflower is not usually pink, but you know, I was kind of having fun with it and just seeing what I could create as far as this color combination. So I've gone in with the edges here, and I've really liked how it turned out. I'm going to go in a little bit with some more water and kind of water that down and kind of just make that color not as so bright. So you can see, and kind of blending the two colors together as well. So I liked how that turned out a lot. So now I'm going to work on the little hummingbird. And in the beginning of the video, obviously I showed you a picture of the color combination, and it had that hummingbird in there. So I'm kind of going to try to emulate the colors of that bird in this bird as best as I can. And so I'm kind of starting off with that coral pink color, of course, with the worn lipstick. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the green, which is the Shabby Shutters, and kind of going in and kind of putting a little small wash down. Now, whenever you don't like a color or how it's turning out, you can take your towel that you see there that I just did and just quickly dot it away, and you can more or less start over. So I've gone ahead and done the wings with some of the brown, and then I'm just adding a little bit more green around his head and the rest of his body here, just to kind of make him stand out just a little bit more on his body. And super pretty. I liked how it turned out too. So now I am finishing up the background like I did, like I said earlier. Whenever I did the background, I didn't go up all the way to the edges. So you could see here I've done that, and it makes it a little bit more cleaner as far as you can see the images better. So you can see the end result, and I liked how it turned out. So now we're going to work on the rest of our card. I'm using this Dear Lizzy paper pad it's the Neapolitan collection. It's an older collection, but it's one that I really do like, and I thought it would go good with the color combination that I have been working with. So I picked out the polka dot pattern, and I'm using the largest of the Fawn Stitched rectangles. Before I used the small, and now this is the large, and I'm using the largest of the dies, and this is going to create a frame for my watercolor piece. And I'm going to go ahead and die cut that out using my Sizzix Big Shot. I love my Big Shot. It's one of my favorite tools in my craft room. So, and I use it a lot more since my collection of dies have grown. So now we're going to go ahead and work on the card base, and I've got a piece of Buttermint's cardstock by Basil, and I've cut that down from an 8.5 piece of 8.5 by 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I cut that down at 10, and I'm scoring that at 5, so it's going to be a 5 by 5 square card. And I love this size right now. I'm really obsessed with it. I really do like it. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive to my pattern paper. This is my regular plus adhesive, but it's my favorite adhesive. So I'm adding that to my card base here. And then for the watercolor piece, I'm going to be using the Tombow Extreme adhesive. It's a better adhesive for the watercolor piece simply because we've been doing a lot of embossing and watercoloring to that piece, and so it will help it stick to the card a lot better than if it was just my regular adhesive that I like to use. So you see me using that here. So I'm going to apply some adhesive to that, and once this is down, it's down. So you really got to make sure that once you've start placing your piece onto your card that you like where it's at, because it's really going to be a mess if you try to pull it back up. So that's pretty much the end of our card. I did add a little bit of shimmer off camera to the card, and you can kind of see that here. It really makes it a little, not so flat. So I really like the end result. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked the collab that Christy and I did. Thank you again, Christy, for letting me do this with you. And you can see here the end result of the card, as well as the color combination again that I chose, and then the stamp set that she chose. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will have Christy's link to her video as well in the description bar, so please go watch it. See y'all later, and thank you so much for watching.